I would never abandon you like a Charmander in the rain. The research continues as we discover the similarities between our world and all existing Pokémon. On today's agenda, we're answering the age-old question, is the Charmander family based on amphibious salamanders, reptilian lizards, or I don't know, real-life dragons? Now you might be thinking, Professor Oran, Charmander is obviously just a lizard, Charmeleon is an angsty bigger lizard, and Charizard is half the dragon that alolan exeggutor is. Fair points. But did you know that Charmander may be based on an animal that has gills and often lives in the water, implying that Charmander does not cower under big leaves when it begins to drizzle? So yeah, it seems the lore of the Charmander family is not just permeable skin deep. Let's dragon rush into the origins, ancient myths, and the lives of some unique animals to discover the Charmander family in real life. We can learn a lot about Pokémon origins from their names, so let's start there. Since day one on Pokémon Red, the fan-favorite starter Pokémon Charmander has always been listed as a lizard Pokémon, while its following evolutions are known as flame Pokémon. According to the president of the Pokémon Company, Tsunekazu Ishihara, Charmander is a combination of charcoal and salamander. A Charmander evolves into Charmeleon and Charizard. The names continue to play on this theme, with Million nodding to a chameleon and Zard being the suffix of lizard. However, in Japanese, Charmander is known as Hitokage, which is a combination of Hi, fire, and Tokage, lizard, directly translating to fire lizard. Charmeleon's Japanese name is Rosado, literally translates to the English word lizard, and Charizard's is the same but adds an N to make Rizodon. This addition likely references the suffix adon, commonly found in dinosaur names like Megalodon and Iguanodon. The connection between the names and characteristics of the Charmander family not only reflect their fiery nature, but also hints at deeper mythological roots. At first glance, we see Charmander as a cute little lizard-like creature. But what's this? They are literally on fire? The flame on the tail is not just a symbol of its power, but also its life force, which is actually derived from ancient folklore. Throughout history, fire salamanders have been shrouded in myth and legend. Renowned naturalists such as Aristotle, Pliny the Elder, and Leonardo da Vinci believed that salamanders were creatures capable of withstanding, extinguishing, and even being born from fire. Leonardo da Vinci also wrote that salamanders consumed fire and renewed their scaly skin within it. We now know that this is all fantasy, but before we judge these so-called greats, I have to admit that I too would be making up magical stories if I lived in a time without Pokémon. These legends likely began from a simple misconception. As it turns out, salamanders often sleep in rotting logs, and when these logs were set ablaze by humans, the salamanders would run out, creating the illusion that they were being born from the flames, when in reality they were just woken up from a nap with their house on fire. I believe Charmander was designed to resemble a salamander with fire powers, reflecting the creatures of the myths and paying tribute to the generations of mistaken naturalists. Interestingly enough, right around when the fire salamander myth was becoming known as a hoax, a new creature was gaining popularity in Europe: the dragon. The first depiction of a European dragon has been dated back to 1260 CE and is still prevalent in storytelling today. There is even one on the Welsh flag. Charizard's features have more similarities to European dragons than Asian dragons, most notably in Charizard's formidable attitude, large wings, and fire breathing. European dragons are often depicted as massive reptilian beasts whose fiery breath could easily scorch Palatown's 3 houses. This is contrary to Asian dragons, which are often symbols of good fortune, wingless, and don't breathe fire, but rather control the weather. Try telling Ash that Charizard was good fortune. Myths are often based on truth. Let's discover the salamanders and lizards from the legends. We've been talking a lot about salamanders, but what even are they? And what 3 species resemble Charmander the most? There are currently around 760 living species of salamanders. They're often found in damp habitats and are actually closer in relation to frogs than they are lizards. See, salamanders are amphibians, a group of cold-blooded vertebrates that typically live both in water and on land that include frogs and newts. They undergo metamorphosis from a larval stage with gills to an adult stage with lungs, and have moist skin that aids in their breathing. Metamorphosis sounds a lot like the inspiration of Pokémon evolution to me. The first of the 3 salamanders is the fire salamander, the same one from the legends. These real creatures may not look exactly like a Charmander, but the name and their lore perfectly describe one. The fire salamander has striking black and yellow coloration and is equipped with a powerful defense mechanism. They secrete toxins from their skin called samanderin that can cause convulsions, respiratory paralysis, and eventual death in their unlucky predators. Samanderin is also the active ingredient in the Slovenian drink, salamander brandy, that has hallucinogenic effects, so consumers can pretend they're on their own Pokémon journey in their minds. Ironically, Charmander is also capable of learning the move Toxic. The fire salamander is nocturnal and emerges at night to hunt for insects, spiders, and earthworms. So watch out, Caterpies! Onto a species that more visually represents Charmander, the red salamander. This amphibian has bright orange skin and black spots, which looks just like a Charmander that got hit by mudshot. The red salamander stands out in its habitat, the damp woodlands of eastern United States. Picture a Charmander standing in the Viridian Forest. Red salamanders prefer moist environments, near streams, and lead secretive nocturnal lives, only coming out under the cover of darkness to hunt. They also produce a mild toxin from their skin that keeps predators at bay, and their bright coloration is more of a threat to any bold Pidgeys in the area. The final salamander can grow up to nearly 6 feet long and is the largest amphibian on Earth. This colossal prehistoric legend, with its dark brown to orange skin, is known as the Chinese giant salamander. This remarkable creature thrives in the chilly, fast-flowing rivers of China. The mountainous environment provides crevices and caves where these Goliaths can hide. Their unique ecology also involves a slow metabolism and the ability to absorb oxygen from water through their skin, allowing the giant salamander to stay submerged indefinitely. As nocturnal predators, they compensate for their poor eyesight with sensory nodes that detect vibrations in the water, helping them locate prey such as fish. Maybe this is why so few Magikarp make it upstream to become Gyarados. But we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. Moving on to the inspirations of the flame Pokémon Charmeleon and Charizard. Let's discover an entirely different species. The lizard is a type of reptile belonging to the order Squamata, which is characterized by scaly skin and movable quadrant bones. As reptiles, they are cold-blooded, have scales covering their bodies, and lay eggs. Lizards can be found in almost all habitats, from deserts to forests to mountaintops. There are over 7,000 species of lizards on Earth, and they can be found on every continent except Antarctica. The first lizard we must research is the incredible master of disguise, the chameleon. After removing the R from Charmeleon, we get the species renowned for their ability to change color. I promise this isn't more folklore. They can actually change their skin pigment in order to camouflage, communicate, and regulate their body temperature. This is why you often see Charmeleons in volcanic areas. They're just trying to blend in. Chameleons are found in rainforests and deserts in Africa, Europe, and Asia. Amongst their many unique features, did you know chameleons have mobile eyes that can move independently of each other? Maybe this is Charmeleon's scary face attack. Remember when I said there were real dragons on Earth? Well, it's true. In a way, the first of the 3 living dragons is the bearded dragon, a fascinating lizard native to Australia and named for the beard-like extension on their throats. These reptiles are omnivorous in nature and consume insects, vegetation, and occasionally smaller lizards throughout the deserts they inhabit. Bearded dragons have very dragon-like qualities, like their flattened bodies, spiky scales, and the ability to endure extreme heat. Bearded dragons are also popular as pets due to their docile nature and unique behaviors like arm waving and head bobbing. I'm sure Charizard can be a nice friend when it wants to be. The next dragon on Earth is actually the largest lizard in the world, a formidable species native to the islands of Indonesia that is capable of reaching lengths of up to 10 feet and weighing over 150 pounds is none other than the Komodo dragon. These apex predators inhabit tropical forests, savannas, and mangrove swamps, where they prey on deer, pigs, water buffalo, and even smaller Komodo dragons. I guess dragon is super effective against dragon in real life too. Despite their fearsome reputation, Komodo dragons are also known for their intelligence and complex social behaviors. I think I'd like to see a bunch of Charizards hanging out together someday, but maybe from a distance. On to the final dragon! Oh, it's just a regular looking lizard. Nothing special to see here. Wait, what? It can fly? Yep. The Draco lizard, also known as the flying dragon, is a remarkable reptile found in the rainforests of Southeast Asia. The Draco is known for its ability to glide through the air using wing-like membranes called patagia, which are similar to bat wings. These arboreal creatures feed on ants, termites, and other small insects. They can rapidly extend their patagia to glide from tree to tree, evading predators and becoming predators themselves. Their ability to go from a small, regular-looking lizard to soaring through the skies reminds me a lot of the evolution from Charmander to Charizard. From just a cute little guy to a fearsome dragon. Well, at least to ants they're fearsome. It's time to Dragon Claw that subscribe button and let me know which animals you think share the most resemblance with each member of the Charmander family. Who's that Pokémon? It's a salamander, a chameleon, and a Komodo dragon with the wings of a Draco lizard. It's the Charmander family in real life. Dragons have long been symbolic of power, wisdom, and protection in cultures around the world. Similarly, Charizard's dragon-like qualities evoke awe and respect among trainers and fans, embodying the mythical allure of dragons in the Pokémon universe. And let's face it, dragons are simply cool, much like the body of a salamander. If you liked learning about these cool amphibians, check out my previous video covering the first amphibious buddies, the Bulbasaur family.